Today we're going to talk about how to manage the ends when working with cotton yarn. It's a little bit different than wool. Generally speaking, with wool, I could just take this end and weave it in or sew it in to my stitches and expect it to stay where I put it. Cotton's really slippery and the yarn isn't going to stick to itself. So you have to come up with another method in order to keep your end in place once you've sewn it in. What's kind of nice about cotton yarn as opposed to wool is that we're going to use a knot to secure the end. And it's really, really sturdy. And I find it a lot faster than weaving in ends with cotton where you need to sew it a lot further into the fabric in order to have it really out of the way. So to get started, you're going to need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and of course the piece that you're sewing the ends into. I'm going to flip my piece over so that I'm working on the wrong side. I've got this end, and I'll go ahead and thread it through my tapestry needle. To start, we'll treat it as if it were any other swatch that I had made with wool, and I'll go ahead and sew it in just a few stitches. So just going under these stitches on the wrong side. And for this method, you really only need to go a couple stitches in from the end. So I've done 1, 2, I'll go a third. And this is the step where things really get exciting. I'm going to slip my needle off of the end and use my fingers to untwist it. I want to separate this tail into 2 equal parts. So I have a 4-ply yarn. And I'm going to go ahead and just use the tip of my tapestry needle. You can use your fingers as well, but I find it's easier to just spear your tapestry needle through there and separate it. Instead of 1 4-ply, I'm going to separate it into 2 pieces. Each of these contain 2 plies each. I'm going to slip 1 of these sections back through the eye of my tapestry needle. And with just that one section, go ahead and go 1 more stitch. So now the goal here is that the 2 halves of my end are coming out in separate places. So I have 1 coming out under this stitch and 1 coming out under that stitch. And then I'm going to tie my 2 ends into a tight little knot. I like a square knot for this. You can use whatever knot you want. The real key here is to do a really, really tight knot. And it's cotton, so it can take a lot more abuse than wool. If I were to try to pull on 2 plies of wool like this, they'd snap. With cotton, you can really pull it tight, and you want to pull it as tight as you possibly can. Make a teeny tiny, tight little knot. And then I'm going to go ahead and snip that tail right above the knot. So see, here's my knot, here's the 2 sections, and I'm going to snip it right above that knot. And give it a little tug, and that knot will disappear into your fabric, and it'll stick there forever. So actually, this is pretty quick and easy, and that knot is never going to move. Thanks, guys, and I hope this was helpful.